Hello, it's Brian Scott, Mystic Skull Games. That's why I've renamed it. um, I barely have time to read ever any anymore. I just cannot do it. I have so much stuff to do. In fact, I just started doing audiobooks because that way I can listen to something while I work on another project. It's so horrible. I used to be 1% of the whole entire school in reading. Now I just don't have time to do it. Anyway, this recent one, yes, I know I got a little sore there. This recent one, Stephen King's Fairy Tale. I thought, oh, this really sounds great. I like Stephen King and I like fairy tales. What could go wrong? I'm going to tell you right away, if you don't want to see the rest of this, I didn't even finish it. I, literally the halfway point, almost the halfway point. I'm just like, can't do it. The first part is actually the good part. And I think if he had kept to the first part just being a regular story with no supernatural things in it, or something supernatural that resolves itself within the first part. The first part is about an old man that lives in this haunted looking house and a boy in the neighborhood named Charlie, and he through circumstance he helps this old man who falls and breaks his leg. The old man has a dog named Radar, which is getting very old. And long story short, the old man's house sits on this portal to another realm. He has it locked up, and up to that point, if this was the story, I would probably still say, it wasn't really all that good, but read, I listened to it all. I did. I listened to it, and I thought to myself, you know, he doesn't have to go through all this. He could just say, "This is what happens to this point," without going through the whole thing. I mean, it's detail. The old man's leg gets broken. He describes how the leg looks. He describes how he has to take care of the guy, and it just goes on and on and on. But it was passable. He finally, of course, gets into to go through the portal. Charlie does, the kid. And the first thing he sees, or one of the first people he meets, are these women without any mouths. And he falls in love with one of them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. It's just everything, the description of everything in this other realm is there a point? What are you trying to tell me? It doesn't, it's not even that. It's so uninteresting. If I go through a portal to another realm, it should be kick fucking ass, especially as Stephen King, especially everything else he's written or done already. You get, you know what kind of reminds me? Note this, and this is a very impotent Clive Barker story. It just this sounds so Clive Barker, but boring. Boring. Clive Barker's done it better. That's the problem with this. So I know this. I can never do anything for an hour. It's going to be a real short one today. Sorry, folks. But that's it. I get to this other realm. Well, it's been building up to halfway through the fucking book. And then I'm just like, oh, they don't have mouths. They're cursed. Oh, he's going to help them? Duh. Uh, the air is out of the sails. So I don't know. He's got to be nearing his 70s. He's got to be in his 70s now. You know, sometimes people just lose. I don't know. I haven't really read a lot of his. I'll be honest. Um, I probably stopped there in the 80s just because of time. I think the last one I read was It, and that was after most of the ones I read most of the ones in the 70s, basically. Almost all of them in the 70s. Yeah, Stephen King's fairy tale. Um, I guess maybe if you're a true fan, a true fan of watch them all, Brian, read them all, Brian. Yeah, and unfortunately, I only picked one. I thought, well, I'm not going to pick 4 or 5 of them from the library. I'm going to just take this one and listen to it. Now it's Sunday. I can't. I don't have nothing to listen to. Oh Lord. Anyway, for me, this was a real big miss. Later.